Hi guys, welcome back to Too Cool for Middle School. Welcome to my classroom. Welcome to my desk, my messy desk. This has been like quite a day. It was just one of those days where I forgot to make copies. My sound system wasn't working. Just all kinds of things started to go wrong. I assigned a vocabulary page from the wrong story in the English book. Like, it's just one of those days. Not the greatest, but you know what? I got to spend it in middle school. And my friend Christina Costa from Teach Like a Girl and I have been talking about the things that we love about middle school. And we know that a lot of people can't understand middle school. Most of us would never want to go back to middle school, to be honest. I would never want to go back to middle school. I'm glad that I made it out alive. And honestly though, like half my kids, I'm like, why are you cute? Like, why are you not ugly? Like, what is happening? How come you are getting to miss that awkward, weird, dorky stage? Like, why don't you look like a dork? Why do you look cool? I don't get it. These kids have like way cooler clothes and they've got like YouTube videos for makeup and like all that kind of stuff. Like, they're too cute. I don't feel like they're getting the full middle school, like, horrific experience that most of us got. But anyways, Christina and I wanted to tell you why we love middle school, since so many people, when they meet us and we tell them that we teach middle school, they're either like, oh my gosh, like, I feel so sorry for you, bless you. Or they're just like, why do you teach middle school? So we want to tell you some of the great things. To be honest, there are a lot, but I'm going to tell you 5 of my favorite things about teaching at a middle school. The first thing that's really great about them is that they kind of fit with me. So I feel like a lot of people that teach middle school still have a little bit of that middle schooler in them. If you know me, I'm like such a fangirl still. I totally fangirl out over Hamilton and Mariah Carey and Lin-Manuel Miranda and John Green books, and I just have my little like fandom things that I get excited about, and my middle schoolers do too. I have a group of girls that want to start basically like a fangirl club, but fanboy club too, I guess, that's just about Harry Potter and Hamilton. And I was like, yes. They asked if I would be their advisor. I'm like, of course, come in every single day and do that. That is fine with me. So it's cool that they're still excited about things. Well, it used to be the binders, right? Like I would have all the things that I loved on my binder. Now it's like their desktop on their Chromebook. It has pictures of whatever they're obsessed with at the moment. And that makes it fun to talk about their interests, because for the most part, it's not like they're just like mildly into things. Like, they love something. They're obsessed with something. Almost every middle schooler that you have has some kind of obsession. Maybe it's a video game, maybe it's like an actor or a singer or a musical. A lot of my kids are like obsessed with Heathers and Hamilton, so you can usually connect with them over something that they are obsessed with. So I think that's really fun. The second thing that I love about middle schoolers is that they're really funny. They're really quotable. Now, I've got to figure out a place in this classroom. In my old classroom, I always had a quote wall. I would just dedicate one bulletin board, and every time a kid said something just like so off the wall hilarious or weird, I would just jot it down on this little like quote thing and put it up on the quote wall. And the rule with my quote wall was you couldn't try to get on the quote wall. You can't like come up to me and like try to say something funny to get on it. It just has to be genuine. There are some days where I'm just having a horrible day, kind of like today, and they are just able to like keep things light, keep things funny, keep me from going too crazy, because they just really don't get that negative, right? Like when I'm tempted to get negative, they're still like, oh, whatever, and they're still funny. And so that kind of pulls me up from getting too frustrated. The next thing that I like about them is that they're getting to this stage where they're able to kind of problem solve and comprehend the abstract. Middle schoolers are obsessed with fairness. If you do any kind of a lesson, especially like when I used to teach 8th grade history stuff is great if you ask them if something was fair. And they're just starting to be able to put themselves in the place of somebody else and take someone else's point of view and then kind of refer back to their own and sort of switch out of their mindset into someone else's. And that's a really cool process to watch. I really like seeing them develop those skills of kind of critical thinking and encountering multiple perspectives. And then they're even able to put those skills into practice. Like I have another club that's going to be meeting in my room that's a human rights club. I can talk more about this in another video, but last year they started a Dressember club because they really liked that I was doing Dressember to combat human trafficking and to raise money for the International Justice Mission and the A21 campaign, and they got really into like fair trade clothing and fair trade consumerism. And so there's a whole club of middle schoolers on their own time, usually at lunchtime, just dedicating themselves to learning more about that. And I think that's amazing because again, they're obsessed with fairness, and it's not fair that some kids have to work and people work in these horrible conditions. So they are dedicating themselves to a club to learn more about it. The fourth thing that I really like about middle schoolers is that they're starting to kind of come into their own personality and their own role sort of in the society of the school. So you kind of start to see the kids who are like leaders, the kids who are more artistic, the kids who are really into sports, the kids that are really into school, although all of our kids are like really into school, but they kind of just start to refine like who they are and who they want to be friends with, like especially 6th grade. I'm like looking at these empty chairs, like imagining particular students, but like they come into 6th grade and still hang out with the kids that they hung out with in elementary school. They like test out a few new friends. Sometimes those don't work out and they kind of join a different friend group, but it's kind of neat to watch them like figure out who they like to be around, what kind of things they like to do, and they just really become a little bit more of a unique individual. So I like being able to see that. The fifth thing that I love about middle schoolers is that I really do learn from them. And I don't mean like, oh, I learned more from them than they learned from me. Like I learned about patience and kindness. No, like I learned actual things. Like for example, I've got my board over here, my tech support board, because we've got one-to-one Chromebooks at my school, and I never know how to help them on the Chromebook. I don't know the answer to your question basically ever, but other kids did, and it would get a little bit crazy. So I'm like, why don't I just have like tech support people that can go out and teach kids what I can't? So that's what we have. And then when my computer goes down or my sound doesn't work, like happened multiple times today, I've got tech support kids. They come up and fix my computer for me. It is awesome. Like they are truly capable of doing a lot of things that I am not capable of. And they're learning about the world. I mean, you know, sometimes they keep me up on current events and like what's going on with Ariana Grande or whatever. Like there are genuine things that I learn from them. So many of my students are from different countries and different cultures, and they teach me a ton of things about where they're from or what their family does. So every single day, like this is really not in a cheesy way, but I learn from them because they know more than I do about a lot of things, particularly computers. Like if I ever need to hack into anything, I'm asking a kid. If I need to know where to find a good deal on something, I'm asking one of these guys. If I need to know a good book to read next, I'm asking them. If I want to know, you know, like what cool pens I should get next, or like school supplies or stationery of any kind, I'm asking them. So those are just a few of the things that I love about middle school, and there are plenty of frustrations, let me tell you, particularly because, you know, they're switching classes, and then like just as an employee, you can get stuck with a million preps like I did this year, and you have a million kids and so many papers to grade and things to prep for, so that stresses me out a little bit. But showing up to a middle school campus every morning is really fun. Like you walk on to the campus and I'm like always running late. I always have like something baby stuck to me. I usually forgot my lunch, but I like have coffee, and I'm like making my way down the hall trying to find my keys, and I'm a mess. And then 15 kids on my way from my car to my classroom are like, hi, Mrs. Forbes. Good morning, Mrs. Forbes. And they're so cheerful in the morning. They're so happy to see you. And this is 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. There is a huge difference between 6th and 8th graders, but I feel like even my 8th graders this year are still very like friendly. They're happy to be at school. They're happy to say hello to their teachers. It's just a really nice working environment. So I appreciate that about middle schoolers a lot. So thank you so much to Christina Costa at Teach Like a Girl for coming up with this topic, because I think it's such a great thing to talk about. Most people complain for hours and hours about middle school because there is a ton of subject matter to get you through. But there are also just these amazing things about middle school, and it was so fun to talk about those things with you today. So definitely go over and check out Christina's channel. She is hilarious. She is supportive of all teachers and all women. She's got a great Instagram. Go check out her video, subscribe to her channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. I have 1,000 papers to grade, so I'll see ya. Bye.